Hi, welcome. So, if this is your first time seeing me, my name is Zaakirah. I am a professional photographer and a brand strategist, as well as a cancer survivor and multi-passionate entrepreneur. Some of you may be seeing me for the first time, but if you are, I basically help entrepreneurs, minority women entrepreneurs, to grow their brands. My story is unique in the sense of a photograph that my mother took when I was 3 months old saved my life and detected cancer. So I actually have cancer in my right eye. And my mother gave me a camera when I was 5 years old. And so from then and there on, I was just capturing every place that I went, everything that I did. And so photography has just played a huge role in my life. And I'm also a December baby, so it's also, a great time of the year. Even though I don't like winter, it's also a great time of the year to um, just be creative and have fun and be grateful for life, right? Like this is that time of year where we're all wondering, or where it's a great time to wonder, what are you grateful for? So if you are just not tuning in, feel free to leave a comment. Let me know that you are watching. That lets me know that I'm not just necessarily rambling on about nothing and that you actually get something out of it. And if you are inspired, please also share this video with others. Like, comment on it so that more people can watch. I'm trying something new here. I have 4 different social media channels going on. So pardon me if my showing quote unquote lazy eye looks one way or the other, because I'm making sure that I don't miss anybody's comments or anything. And so if for that reason the internet looks a little blurry, I apologize too. But I hope that you can hear everything and that it's exactly what you need right now. And so I have technically been an entrepreneur professionally for 10 years. As I think back, because the month of November had a few days of National Entrepreneurship Day and Women's Entrepreneurship Day. And so I would had to reflect what was my first actual entrepreneur experience. And so I then remember that I would bake. I would love baking. I'm not much of a cook. Sorry to that man, but I'm not much of a cook, but I do love baking. Hi Tony, thanks for watching. So I love to bake, right? And so I think I remember baking kind of in exchange for something, right? Maybe back in the day it was like a barter at that time, since it wasn't necessarily a monetary sale just yet. But I was thinking about that. I've been an entrepreneur for a while. And hi Kima, yes, baking is like so relaxing sometimes. And for me, I love this. Like, okay, just put everything together beforehand, and then let the experiments be and see if you did it right or if you didn't do it right. I mean, of course, I feel like also that kind of where most of the waste of money comes, but it's for me, it's more relaxing. So ironically, baking is like entrepreneurship, right? You have all these different ingredients that the recipe says you're supposed to do, but really you make it your own. You literally make it your own, and then once you've mastered it, it's passed on for generations and generations. And so yeah, but also my parents were entrepreneurs too for a majority of my life. My dad had his own schedule pretty much as a 18-wheeler truck driver, and then my mom, she eventually opened her own resource center, but she just loved to write and read and do graphic design. And another one of the many hats that I wear, I'm actually an author. About a year ago, I became a first-time published author. So my mom and I together were able to release a book and release a memoir, basically about my life. And so that was a whole nother ball game, really, of entrepreneurship. Once you release a book, anyways, it is a business. And so my mom and I wrote a book about what life was like, seeing it only in one eye, but not letting that stop me. Using my gift of photography to be that photographer that always captured family events, even though my family didn't always have family events, mainly because we grew up in different places, mainly because we grew up with different religions. When I was around my family, I was the one with the camera out. So they knew me like, oh, here comes Zaakirah with the camera. Let me go ahead and look good, or let me look away so I don't get my picture taken. So photography was that voice for me. And I have siblings. I have older siblings from my parents' previous relationship, but they're like twice my age. So I've only really started to get to know them now, right, as an adult, as I got to choose, my relationship with who I want to really continue to get to know. So I was by myself a lot too. So when I was by myself, I mean, it only gave me the option of how can I keep myself entertained, right? And so I was gifted a journal. I believe I was in third grade. That was the first time I was gifted a journal, and it was one of those, free writing journals. So I would just write how I felt about that day, and it became a thing. And then I read the book of Diary of Anne Frank, and so I was like, maybe I just keep writing my journal. Then one day, my kids and my grandkids or somebody will read it, and it'll be inspiring, for others, right? So, um, yeah, I've always had to kind of keep myself entertained, and music was always there too. When I say that I'm a music head, I am a music head. Name a song in the comment, I probably will know it, and will it'll be in my head, and I'll probably start listening to it after this video. But I always had to keep myself entertained as well, and so it gets difficult, right? Um, I don't know if let me also leave a comment. Let me know if you've experienced this. Of when the sun sets a little earlier and it gets darker a lot longer, your mood kind of changes, right? So the sunshine, I mean, naturally that gives us vitamin D. Naturally that gives us natural light, especially for us photographers and creative. But once that sun goes down, it's like, now what? You know? And there's actually something called seasonal depression. And I didn't even know that I actually had it until I feel like when I started moving to the Northeast, because I was born in Florida. Let me just rewind a little bit. I was born in Florida. So naturally, I'm a water baby. I love water. And when I wasn't around water, it was just really dark, right? Because mostly in the Northeast, that's when it gets dark quicker. So that's when I observed that okay, when it's really dark outside, even my mood changes. So then it's like, okay, well, what am I supposed to do? And so that's where it gets different. Where thank you for technology now. Actually, something else that I have. This. Let me just say that I am Jade of creative trade, so I do multiple things, but they're all creative, and I love everything that I do. I do everything to my best ability, and I do it with passion. So I say that to say that I have a podcast that I've had for 2 years, and I actually had an episode about seasonal depression, imposter syndrome. And so I talked about this. So kind of it will be a refresher for those who have been listening to the podcast and for those who want a great short reminder, because these are the solo episodes that I do most of the time are 15 minutes or less. But if I have guests, women of purpose, sharing stories of resilience, of how they overcame adversity, sometimes that can be 30 minutes to an hour. So that podcast, free to listen to anywhere you listen to podcasts or music, Living Legacy Podcast. Take a look, take your pick of categories of inspiration that you may need. Like those little pieces of paper that pick your inspiration that you need, pick your affirmations. So I know I need them, and I hope that you can get some inspiration too during these tough times. Not only because it's darker sooner, and whether you realize it or not, if you don't have a strong immune system with good vitamins or a regular schedule, or even light bulb to make it look really, really bright inside of your household. I think that's one thing that I realized that actually helped me kind of feel better. Is having very bright light bulb, make it seem like the sun is still out even when it's not. So daylight style light bulbs, um, and the kind of LED lights that are just really, really bright. So that kind of helps to kind of boost your mood a little bit, right? Because we love ourselves when we are at our best, right? But how often do we love ourselves when we're at our worst, right? How can we expect other people to love us if we aren't comfortable when we're at our worst or when we're being challenged, right? Yeah, and for those who are not anemic, opening a window is a great way to let that cool breeze in. Even if you don't go outside, let have a cool breeze come in, and have a sense of nature. If you even if you can't travel, not a lot of us can't travel right now, but even if you can't travel to the nearby beach, most of the people who are water babies need a beach of some kind, right? So it's all about what can you do to take care of yourself during these tough times. And I these tips also because I've been an entrepreneur for so long. I have literally had to finally think for myself through trial and error, right? Because being an entrepreneur, even though if you still have a part time job or two, you still tend to um, think differently about entrepreneurship, right? Because if you're not doing it full time, it's kind of different from doing it part time. It's kind of different from if you're still just daydreaming about that one thing that you've always wanted to do, that one thing that you enjoy doing between the ages of 7 to 13, and before bills, before spouses, before any responsibilities. Think about it, right? What was that one thing that you were doing if you were, had undivided attention to focus on this one task, right? What was it? Now, for me, I'll admit it would definitely be photography. I was blessed to still be taking photos of people or places or things when I was 7 to 13 years old. My first digital camera was gifted to me in sixth grade. So even though I was not officially a part of the yearbook club in middle school, I might as well have been. It's like I almost made my own version of the yearbook because I was always capturing um, different sides of my fellow schoolmates. Um, so for me, it's been a blessing. It's always a blessing, and not only once again, just being a survivor, a cancer survivor, I'm always naturally grateful for life, no matter how hard life gets. Um, but also when entrepreneurship gets hard, sometimes we need that reminder of what um what is my purpose? Why am I here today? Why am I still here today? Why am I still going through this? Right? Because sometimes a lot of us tend to point fingers, But I feel like I'm probably I have an unpopular opinion in that way because some people just tend to just uh, let whatever's happening in that moment think that and make it feel like it's permanent when it really isn't. There's so many things that was not always mentioned in my book, but I have been through that all at this point in my life, it's like, okay, um, I know that I will get through this. I don't know how, I don't know when, I don't know what lesson I'm going to get out of it, but I will get through it. And that kind of resilience is developed. That kind of resilience is so important with entrepreneurship. Um, and I say all this to say that I know that 2021 is going to be a good year. I fully believe that. But I also fully believe that if we all really kind of collectively like learn the lesson of where our priorities need to go from 2020, or who is the most important people in our life, or what it is that we've always wanted to do, to take that into 2021, but with a strategy, right? So it's so easy to just say, oh, I want to do XYZ, but I don't have time. Oh, I want to do XYZ, but the kids are driving me crazy. Oh, I wanted to do XYZ, but um, what kind of progress will you make in that way, right? Like what I started to do also is I kind of began having a regular schedule. So thankfully, because I'm a full-time entrepreneur, I am gratefully don't need to wake up with an alarm. But naturally, my body wakes up when the sun starts peeking through the window. So I have a regular schedule of I get up, the same time every day. I try to do the same thing every morning. Start off my morning with a sense of gratitude. Once I have a collective, once I've collected my thoughts and know what time of day it is, what day it is, and what I have to do today, then I start writing down. Try to keep a positive energy going throughout the day. I start writing down what it is that I want to do, where I aspire to see myself in the next 3, 6, 9, 12 months, and what I like about myself. Because confidence goes a long way. Inner confidence goes a very long way. And especially in entrepreneurship, you have to be your own supporter. You have to be your own supporter because thank goodness for social media. There are places now where you can have the community of supporters that can help you, give you that little boost that you need. But for the most part, you kind of have to do it yourself, right? And so it's such a blessing that I have been an entrepreneur for 10 years, and there's so much that I have learned. believe it or not, I have been an entrepreneur for 10 years. I mean, yes, I've had to, life has happened and I've needed to get a part time job or two here and there, or I may have, stopped photography, let seasonal depression stop me from having that desire of photographing. But it doesn't mean that my mind was not thinking about it, right? So that's where I went from photographing to then by the time I was starting out with photography is when Facebook pages were just coming out. So I literally had to teach myself how to use Facebook pages. And I don't mean the personal profile. I mean the business page. This is when it was just coming out before everyone had access to ads. So before the whole pay to play game. So I had to learn for myself. And because I've always had this motto of each one teach one, I tend to just I tend to like be so excited about what I've learned, and I'm all about the school of life. Right, I did receive a couple of certifications in photography, a couple of certifications in social media, but the best learning experience is working with other women entrepreneurs, working with other artists, working with other small businesses to teach them, hey, you need to be using Facebook pages because it's the next big thing. Hey, you need to be on Instagram because it's the next big thing. Hey, you need to be using video because that's the only way that we'll really be in touch at this point until things are calmed down by spring 2021. So I say all this to say that it's a never ending learning journey, and it also does not have to be a lonely journey either. So I went from helping a couple of my friends to master social media, Facebook first. I joined Twitter. Um, I joined Twitter to follow my favorite artist. One of my favorite male artists. My favorite male artist is Usher, right? And so this was at the time where I'm a huge music lover too, right? So this was at the time where you can start to follow your artists in their daily life online. So not just whatever photo they choose to curate or edit with a professional photographer on Instagram, but also what they're thinking, right? So short little tweets that are 140 character, maybe back then it was 96, short character tweets. So I love to just see what's Usher talking about today. And so, of course, Twitter nowadays is great for the real time news. It's like one of the few apps that are in real time. You can get your accurate news in real time. Um, and then YouTube, I didn't really start YouTube until I learned videography, in one of my photography courses. So the only thing that's constant in life is change. So you may hate the look of the Instagram app, but you don't hate Instagram. You may, hate seeing posts from like 3 days ago, but you don't hate Facebook. How else would you keep in touch with your family, right? Not everyone has FaceTime. Not everyone has WhatsApp. So, social media is a blessing and a curse at the same time. The same thing about technology. Technology is a blessing and a curse at the same time. If it wasn't for to social media, I would not know a lot of you. A few of you I have been blessed to meet in person, but a lot of you I have not. And it feels like we have because we've been in touch online for so long, right? So that's social media. And so when once again are walking in your purpose, um, nothing can really actually steer you away, even though it feels like it, even though you may be focused on one thing, your purpose is always going to find you wherever you go. And so I feel like I'm a great testimony of that because I was blessed to once again discover that at a young age, I knew that my purpose was to inspire others to step outside of their comfort zone through my visual storytelling. So not only as a photographer, not only as a videographer, not only as a marketer, because that's a story that you tell too, that you curate to strategize on choose what to post, but also just as a podcaster as a video person, someone who had to develop the confidence and still working on that confidence of going live on video. Because you think, oh, she's doing it so well, but you have no idea that some days I'm just like, I can't do it. I can't do it. I know somebody wants to see me or hear from me or be inspired by me, but not today, right? And it's okay to give yourself that grace, right? So social media is huge, especially for women entrepreneurs for 2021. especially if we're going to be, some of these states are already on their lockdown again. Um, the and the only way to kind of be in control and have certainty is to have your own business. And so I've literally spent the past 10 years also working with uh, between 20 to even 50 solopreneurs, entrepreneurs, nonprofits, artists, upcoming brands and companies in the entertainment industry to help them to really cultivate their brand, get it off the ground, get it out of their head onto social media, onto a website, right? Because that's where a lot of people tend to get stuck. They tend to get stuck on, okay, um, I am I have this idea and I've had this idea for so long, but I don't know how to get started. Or I have this idea, but it's going to cost so much money just to get it started. All you need is passion. 'Cause once again, you have to be your biggest supporter with whatever your vision is, because the vision was given to you and only you. And only if you happen to find those angels that understand what you've been through or have already been through what you've been through, right? Because we all individually on our own time have to grow through what we go through. So once you found your niche, once you found your tribe, it doesn't have to be lonely and it doesn't have to be difficult. So I say this to say that I would love to be a part of your tribe, right? I am all about supporting women. I'm all about just helping you. As long as you have an open mind, I'm all about helping you to grow your brand. And so this is a holiday weekend, but it's also almost my birthday, and so I would just wanted to let you know a few opportunities that I do have out there. So one of them is called a How to Grow Your Social Masterclass. It's a pre-recorded masterclass, but we tweaked it to also add a slide and an excerpt of a video to educate you on Reels/TikToks. And technically, they're the same thing. If you remember Instagram, Jack, and Snapchat, it's all the same thing. So Instagram is pretty much trying to be that one-stop shop. And if you have a service-based business, a product-based business, a book, you need to be on it, but you need to know how to use it properly so that you're not wasting time scrolling, so that you're not, especially if you do choose to monetize ads. The ads start on Facebook because Facebook bought out Instagram some time ago. But if you choose to do ads, you don't want to waste any money, because the most important thing is to know who it is you're trying to reach, and how to reach them. So in the How to Go Masterclass, and to probably the next step of my little journey that I was giving you my brief story. I started out with photography, and then learned social media. And through all the other visual mediums, I then started a marketing agency. It started out with marketing because some people really need to know how to use social media. They really need to know how to understand how to use the website. They really need to understand the importance of using their brand colors. So then it became again the importance of supporting women, outsourcing or contracting to other women who are just as passionate at what they do. And so together, it's a creative marketing agency where we literally help you to cultivate your brand. Whether you need that logo, whether you need that website, whether you need that social media strategy, or just consultation, clarity, because sometimes you need a business person, someone who's been in business for a little while, to help you give that idea. So the masterclass, though, is a pre-recorded video with two added bonuses. This is just a limited time offer for two added bonuses of a How to Build Your Brand workbook and a content calendar, right? Sometimes we get stuck on what to post, right? But we do know that we're supposed to post, if not every day, then at least once a week, right? But stories are so easy to post daily. Post somebody else's quote, post somebody else's work. And we talk about all of that because the big four are going to take over in 2021. And I want to make sure that you are ready for that. So one of the best ways to do that is to go to bit.ly/, grow your social masterclass. I'll probably come back around and put it in the comments. I know I'll put it in the description, but This is for $47 just for now, just a one-time only price, and you get a workbook, a content calendar, and pre-recorded slides with a video. So that's a lot for a small price. So just know that that price is going up because the value is huge. You have 20 years. There's two ladies, me, myself, and my creative director, two ladies presenting in that video. And that's a lot of value, that 20 years of experience. So you definitely don't want to miss that. And then the next thing I have for you is kind of going a little backwards a little bit, but this is for those who were a part of the crowd who literally had to learn how to use Zoom, learn how to use StreamYard, learn how to use LinkedIn and Facebook a bit more better this year because you had to work from home and that whole bit. So this is actually going backwards a little bit to telling you that the pre-recorded video, just me, just my pretty face, my educated voice, showing you the difference between the big four social media and why it's important to use it, right? Because I think there's some of you also who are at that point where you're on social media right now, you're using it, to watch this video, but you have this idea laying around in your head, and you're it's so such a nerve-wracking idea of how do I even start promoting myself? How do I even start tooting my own horn? Where do I start? Like I'm on all the social media channels. I see how other people are using it, but how do I do that? And so that's what this video is. Now this one, because social media is changing all the time, this you get lifetime access to the video, so it will always be updated. And because it's in specific like a teaching platform, you have access to me as well if any questions that you have about just getting started with social media. This is before knowing how to grow your social, but how to really get started with social media. So this is social media one-on-one for $57. And this one is a code. I should have named it, but once again, I'll put it in the comments so that you know it. But bit.ly/33F, lowercase f, capital Y, lowercase I, for you. 33F, capital Y, lowercase I, for you. And that is for the social media one-on-one masterclass. This is so that you understand the good and the bad, but also how to be more strategic on social media for 2021 for your mental health, for your soon-to-be business. And last but not least, these are three options that I'm giving you. And so if you are loving this video, if you love this video, please share it. Please make sure other people are inspired by it and are educated as well. Last but not least, the biggest offer that I have, because I've told you my story of a camera saved my life. I was given a camera at 5 years old. I studied photography in school and out of school and all over the world, technically, because, like I said, School of Life is my education. This is pretty much a high ticket offer with so much value, because not only do you not understand how to master your device, whatever device that is, whether that is your camera, whether that is the camera on your phone, you are learning how to master the device without using auto mode. Because some of us, it's so easy to do that. Flip it up, it's probably on your lock screen, right? Your camera app is probably on your lock screen, and that's all you do. You know how to focus and zoom in and zoom out, but do you know how to take a photograph on your device without using auto mode? So that's one of the first modules that we teach. The second module is about lighting. So sure, you know that, okay, I need to make sure that there's good lighting, right? Or that I need to make sure that my photo is in focus, or that I need to make sure that I'm posting the right thing. Like, I know that I love to take photos of my family. I know that I love to take photos of my pet, but what now, right? I just love to take photos for fun. But once a creative, always a creative, right? So then I also have a module where I break down how you can consider what it is that you truly want to do to build your portfolio, right? You're already starting that, because once again, you use social media, you use Instagram already. So why not use your photographs the one that you take on your phone without auto mode, and be strategic with it and post on social media, right? So this is the big high ticket offer, because not only did you get these 3 modules, you get a workbook, because once again, I'm dropping so many gems that I would hate for you to miss it. But also, for a limited time only, there is a group coaching session. So you get to work with me and ask me anything about photography. Now, this is just photography only, but because depending on where you are and in that specific module, you also get to ask me about social media, right? Because how often do you get a photographer who also had pretty much got certifications in social media and is willing to help you literally hold your hand and answer all your questions about how to grow your social using whatever your talent is. Once you narrow down your time, listen, listen to my podcast, right? For mental health tips on how to narrow down your talent, how to turn out all the noise, and then go to the Photos Made Simple program, where not only do I teach you how to take photos simply, but you also get a group coaching session with me as I teach you how to utilize social media and take better photographs. What better way to do that, right? We're already going to be inside a lot. We're already on our device a lot. So why not make 2021 the year that you do it with clarity and do it with a strategy? How that sound? So that link is bit.ly/photos made simple. bit.ly/photos made simple. And this is a $500 value because, like I said, it's 6 weeks, but to get access to me one-on-one, because I'm pretty busy. I have a handful of social media marketing clients that I have going on, and I still run my podcast. And as a cancer survivor, I prioritize my mental health too. So I just gave you 3 options and told you at least three fun facts about me. And I hope that you did learn a lot from this video. Let me know that you learned a lot from this video, or what you learned from this video. And if you had any questions about anything, I am pretty active on social media. I check my notifications. Well, when the notifications are not acting up, I check them pretty often. So I love to know what questions you have, what feedback you have for me, and let's go from there. I want to see you have a glow up in 2021, because that's where my head is already. My birthday is December 20th, and after that, I always take. Well, it's hard now because we've been slowing down all year long. So I'm like, am I going to take a week off, or am I not going to take a week off? I don't know. We'll see. But 2021, it's time. It's time. All I'm going to say is it's time. And you can take that and understand it to whatever you interpret it as. But I'm looking at you through my one eye. Yes, I'm looking at you and I'm saying it's time. Okay. So you can choose to work with me and get ahead of the times or not. It's up to you. But I'm going to leave this with you, and I'm going to leave you to enjoy your time. Enjoy the end of another month and almost the end of another year. And I look forward to seeing you on the other side. Have a good one.